Hello, it's 9 p.m. in RTD. It's time to English New Edition. For tonight headlines, we have the head of state presides over the celebrations of the day dedicated to women at UNFD. For the national scene, the death of George Floyd, the United States Historic Church opens in Minneapolis. Welcome to our newsroom. Djibouti celebrates International Women's Day under the patronage of its President of the Republic, the head of state, His Excellency Ismail Omar Guelleh, chaired this Monday the Djiboutian celebrations of the International Women's Day. The ceremony rich in color, where the high level of animations was combined with the large number of the participants in the event. The Djiboutian celebration of International Women's Day took place this year at the headquarters of the National Union of Djiboutian Women, UNFD. Upon his arrival, the President of the Republic and the First Lady Khadra Mahmoud Haid was greeted by the Prime Minister Abdelkader Kamel Mohammed, the Minister of Women and Family, Moumina Ahmed Hassan. As usual, the event served as a stand for the development of an objective assessment of the situation of Djiboutian women in our society. In this regard, all the speakers, officials, artists, and other commentators at the podium of the ceremony have all reported their satisfactions and testified to the continuing positive development characterizing the conditions of women in Djibouti. The most illustrious of the interventions made at the podiums of this event is undeniably the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh. In addition to the President of the Republic, the Minister of Women and Family, Moumina Ahmed Hassan, the Secretary General of UNFD, Fatuma Musa Abdi, and the representative the coordinator of the United Nations system in Djibouti, Ms. Barbara Manzi, also made speeches at the podiums of this event. Each of these speakers welcomed the continuous progress characterizing the situations of Djiboutian women. The First Lady and President of National Unions of Djiboutian Women, Khadra Mahmoud Haid, at the head of a representative group of women from all parts of the capital and our interior regions, also took part in this ceremony.
Dulko midabelay dhaqaale yaraaday dabkii ku dhaqna way dildeli ku taabtay arartaad xilka aabo qaade lagu dharshay kanaatay way hagaagtay isbedel dhacay awgii dhibtii laga raysay arartaad xilka aabo qaade lagu dharshay kanaatay way hagaagtay isbedel dhacay awgii dhibtii laga raysay cashii dhutinaysay dhaqsay orodbooday intay dhogor saartay dhaankay la aroortay Gamalay damatiriyaabo dil qura ku wadaga oo darga tiriyaabo derga way darga tiriyaabo ashi dhutinaysay dhaqsay orodbooday intay dhogor saartay dhaankay la aroortay Gamalay damatiriyaabo dil qura ku wadaga oo darga tiriyaabo derga way dhargaa tidhi abo abaal nin dhigtaa waayo dhalaari mashaariicda dhiman dhaqangelintooda ayaa kugu dheere maxaad dhaxal dheebtay dhankaadu wadaadhi doogle lahaydo ismaha dhiricdaa la dhaygagayaaye jabuuti dhigin wata wada dhaaftay wata wada dhaaftay wata wada dhaaftay wata wada dhaaftay abaal nin dhigtaa u aaya dharaare mashaariicda dhiman dhaqangelintooda ayaa kugu dheere maxaad dhaxal reebtay dhankaadu wadaadhi doogle lahaydo ismaha bilicdaa la dhaygagayaaye jabuuti dhigin wata wada dhaaftay wata wada dhaaftay wada dhaaftay wata wada dhaaftay
The celebration of International Women's Day has integrated an important animation component. Songs specifically composed for this ceremony were performed by our country's main distinct artistic and cultural troupes.
برلمان بوسط برمسيقة كصبح ميل واللبا سراكل بوحليو إلا بعد مرنا دي بايلوت قرن بكمدا هبلوغو حربتيو وزيري برلمان بوسط برمسيقة كصبح ميل واللبا سراكل بوحليو إلا بعد مرنا دي بايلوت قرن بكمدا بيع مشترية تجارة بضيعة صوت جو برق أفريقيا برضمان كوباهي يبقى كمدا هديك لوحن لها بيع مشترية تجارة بضيعة صوت جو برق أفريقيا برضمان كوباهي يبقى كمدا هديك لوحن لها ورو مركب بلد كيو دقالها بريو واحد انتو بلن بي هيان هوين كيني هيان هديك لوحن لها ورو مركب بلد كيو دقالها بريو واحد انتو بلن بي هيان هوين كيني هيان هديك لوحن لها هبلوغو بير لحوسيو مركي بصاريو كرتبا رقي بردافين حقوق بوحديها لين هبلوغو بير لحوسيو مركي بصاريو كرتبا رقي بردافين حقوق بوحديها لين عيبان هو يبو يا هي 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 وحبو قاعدين يناي عيبان هو يبو يا هي عيبان هو يبو يا هي وكان شعب الاستقر قاري عيبان هو يبو يا هي عيبان هو يبو يا هي حقيني بارح ليري عيبان هو يبو يا هي عيبان هو يبو يا هي الله ذلك نوبر واقعي هيابان ويبو يا هيابان ويبو يا الله وحب أن نبال مري هيابان ويبو يا هيابان ويبو يا هيابان ويبو يا هيابان ويبو يا هيابان ويبو يا
The public was also treated to a skillfully prepared play emphasizing the precious contribution that Djiboutian women bring to our society in the ever-present fight against COVID-19. As usual, the Djiboutian celebrations of International Women's Day will not have departed from its principle of having the head of state's award ceremony.
dushooda saaray dadko dhan hiilka haween ku diirsay haween dalkooda u daacad weeye maantana dunidaye xaqoogii dana oo soo daahira loo durbantuma aabbaha dalkiyo hooyadii dadkeenuna dhammaan la durbaantuma allah daayine la durbaantuna
waa maalin loo asteeyay oo adduunyada oo dhan laga xuso
marka halkay ka soo bilaabantay maantii feedha nabi aadan laga jeexay baa 8 maars ahayd macni halkay ka soo bilaabantay meesha
adeer waa maalintii haweenka adduunka xaqooda iyo xuquuqdooda waa maalin tii ay ka soo baxeen mugdiga ay ku jireen oo la xuso oo adduunyada dhan laga xuso
xuquuq baa ka maqanay wariyahe maalinta raguna waa maalinta raggu ragii kuwa dhalay qabay maalintoodina meeday
deeda ragga xuquuq kama maqna dumarka xuquuq ka maqnay waa la caburinay waa la dilay waa la dagaalay adeer wixii ma jiraan marka
oo way ka soo baxeen marka xagay u soo baxeen
halkaas ay u soo baxeen iyo xaqoodii iyo xuquuqdoodii
marka ma Djibouti oo wadamay waa dunida oo dhan
adeer heede waa adduunyada oo dhan
marka adduunyada dumarkeedii oo dhan maxay isku xidhiidhiyeen wariyahe waxba ay leeyahay isfahmaayay ma dumarkii dunida oo dhan dabada la isugu xidhay marka
oo Djibouti farasti ka tahay waliba Djibouti baa ugu horeysa dumarka adduunka adeer halka ku faasiyo
sidee ugu horeysa
adeer bariga hore dumarka waa la dili jiray waa la dalaagi jiray waa la dalaaqi jiray
wallahi waa run
imsa naagood baad furtay
dhowr
ma furaysid imika bal waxa eeg
haye ma furay
barigii hore adeer waxa saadhici jiray imisaad meherkii ka qaadayba
qaar baan meherkii iguma liidinba
bareeg waa xaqoodii adeer maalintii loo soo dhiciyay waa maalintii la yidhi waliba dalka Djibouti xitaa dalka la guursta ma dili kartid telefoon bay loo walaw qaraacay walaal shaada mareega kula boodayay
kaale
waan dhageysaade
haddaan gabadha isir maagno
telefoon
baa loo sameeyay
telefoon ay kala xidhiidho dawladda
haye
oo lagu xidhayo
wallahi waa maalin weyn marka wariyaha haye
gabadhii la iska dhirbaaxayay ma jirto gabadhii la iska dilayay ma jirto gabadhii la dagaalayay ma jirto sidii ay tiri diinta islaamka war dumarkii la ilaashada oo dumarkaas ayuunbaa halkan lagu fadhiisiyay 8 maars oo Djibouti dariiqa diinta islaamka qaada
minna ta'allamna as-salam wal 'aysh fi kanaf al-wiyam بصبرها وثباتها نجرت لنا في الأرض زهن عاشت نساء بلادنا طرو زرع ترابنا يا نور وشمس سمائنا عاشت لنا حصنا وذخرا
hadaday u heliyaan horow markaan gaadhnay intisaa siyaasadee looma kala hayn hormood uu haweenka yahay ha iilan hooyoy macaan horow soco hooyoy macaan hajiro wiilka hajiro hagaabin hooyoy macaan ha iilan hooyoy macaan horow soco hooyoy macaan hajiro wiilka hajiro hagaabin hooyoy macaan oo maamulkeenna hufan tala samee hogaamiyaha habeen dhaladkaan xilkiyo talaadahay kundhidhi ducaan u hibayne howlaha allow la qabo oo maamulkeenna hufan tala samee hogaamiyaha habeen dhaladkaan xilkiyo talaadahay kundhidhi ducaan u hibayne howlaha allow la qabo ilaahow dalka hooyo halkay nabadi dalka yee aylan hooyoy macaan allow hareer mari colaadaha dunida hantiye horow soco hooyoy macaan haweenka jabuuti hooyada allow cisee
The coordinator of the United Nations system in Djibouti, Barbara Manzi, said that this International Women's Day highlights the transformative power of women's participation to an equal footing with men. We sitting right here at the UN, where I am proud that we have achieved gender parity in leadership for the very first time. The fact is there, because women govern and the states invest in social protection and poverty, the country is stronger in its fight against climate change. For her part, the Secretary General of UNFD, Fatuma Musa Abdi, said that the impact of the pandemic has been even stronger among women who struggle to provide for their families' daily needs, but to help all vulnerable families. The UNFD, under the leadership of our First Lady, has participated in the distributions of food to all families affected by the pandemic. This global crisis has proved once again that solidarity and the key word to move forward and move forward. This solidarity is reflected here in Djibouti by the involvement of the First Lady, who has made no effort to help the most vulnerable households. On her part, the Minister of Women and Family, Moumina Ahmed Hassan, she said she was particularly honored to speak at the commemorations of the International Women's Day, which is celebrated all over the world, and we are lucky to have our President and First Lady to celebrate this day with us. Allow me, before I begin, to thank the President of the Republic and the First Lady for devoting some of their precious time to us. I would like, in your name, to express our gratitude and appreciation to the Godfather and Godmother of this ceremony for all the commitment to our side, and alongside Djiboutian women, I appoint the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Gelle, and Khadra Mahmoud Haid, our First Lady, whose unconditional support has never ceased for 20 years. They have given back to the Djiboutian woman here dignity. The recognition is that she deserves the central place she has in Djiboutian society. For these editions of the international community has chosen as a team female leadership for an equal future in the world of COVID-19. For his part, the head of state, Ismail Omar Gelle, said in his speech, the Secretary General of the United Nations has sent a message in which he paid tribute to the women of the world. Listen to the head of state.
With joyful and lively participants. This is certainly due to the emotion generated by the celebration of the International Women's Day, celebrated all over the world. In the future, it will be necessary to create a national day of Djiboutian women. The Secretary General of the United Nations has sent a message in which he pays tribute to the women of the world and of course to the women of Djibouti as well. In passing, I remind you that this building of the UNFD was built under the leadership of the late First Lady, Mrs. Aisha Bogore. It is she, the late First Lady, who supported the late President, Mr. Hassan Guled Abtidon, that this splendid building became the foundation of the meetings, the seat of privileged grouping of our women. It is essential to recall the road traveled from the foundation stone to this day. So we should build together, hand in hand, with one voice, building and shouting loud and clear the love of our beloved homeland. We should create a climate of peace, mutual trust, mutual respect, and exchange. Our sovereignty and freedom will never be questioned for anyone. It is thanks to trust that we have been able to build our country. From the Domero region to Luaida, we have a united people, frontier, supportive, trusting in itself, a people that will never tolerate that our nation is a victim of eventual destabilization. We have become a nation of encounter and exchange, thanks to our good mental health, to the presence of a well-connected state, a land of peace and solidarity, where every citizen feels safe. It is these various parameters that makes us move forward. Certainly, we do not have any mining resources. We have these assets that make the greatness and splendor of a country. We don't have oil. The president began by emphasizing, we have know-how and we benefit from a human strength that is beyond compare today. The question that arises today is why there would not be a day dedicated to men. Certainly, it is legitimate to ask why we evoke only a day celebrating women. It must be said that in studies and research, women are more talented than men and even do work that men will never be able to do. Women are evoked in the Holy Quran only different from men in biological matters. We can say that today women continue their studies with brilliance as much as men despite the reluctance of some family and even sometimes peers.
The head of state said the foreigners are surprised when we grant them a 6 months paid and unemployed maternity leave and we tell them that a diploma is equal pay for whom as Westerners do there would be a disparity and a salary injustice to a woman. Listen once again to the head of state.
Moreover, as we are fighting against unemployment, we should also face the pandemic of COVID-19. COVID-19 is a divine test. As you know, we were the first to implement a strategy of prevention and fight against COVID-19. Thanks to all the tasks undertaken, our hospitals are also empty of victims of this global pandemic. We are also the country with the least number of deaths recorded by. We have not had to wait until the last moment to avoid that our hospitals and medical centers receive COVID-19 diseases at an advanced stage where even oxygenation is useless. We have now reached to the vaccination stage with priority to health workers, auxiliary and medical assistants, as well as elderly people with chronic illnesses who will be vaccinated on a first-come, first-served basis. We urge our population and above all our mothers and fathers to respect the measures that have been put in place. If people or individuals have any doubts about their state of health, they should immediately consult the nearest health center to be tested. As you know, there are a people of mind and body who can defend and advance their country. The leadership evoked by the Secretary General of the United Nations is a very good review, a good roadmap in a conference from the women and men who hear you. It is all this that leads to leadership. As such, I hope that our girls and women hold this leadership essential for a real progress.
The head of state evoked that moreover, as we are fighting against unemployment, we should also face the pandemic of COVID-19 is a divine test. Listen to the head of state.
The foreigners are surprised when we grant them a 6-month paid and unemployed maternity leave and we tell them that a diploma is equal pay, for whom as Westerns do. There would be a disparity and a salary injustice towards women, when all the forces of the country are hard at work and every citizen is working in his or her sector. in a commitment manner. Our country will no longer need outside help. Our nation will be honored by the rest of the world, and we will be able to fully defend our beloved homeland. If a nation is populated by illiterate people, this may open the door to any corruption or attempts at intelligence with the enemy. Our daughters and women are present in all sectors and disciplines at the national and international level, both public and private. Our women are always and relentlessly at our side, while we men must encourage and support them so that together, women and men, we can move forward for the socio-economic progress of our beloved homeland. It must be said that together we have crossed a long road strewn with obstacles of all kinds. We have braved boredom, and to this day, by the grace of God, we reap the fruits of our labors and the fruits of our efforts. Through our patience and abnegation, our nation is respected and valued. Our country is present in all international meetings, and its point of view is considered, its advice listens. In short, our interculturals fully appreciate us because we bring a lot to the rest of the world, thanks to our intelligence. This state of fact is due to peace and stability in our unity and equality without fail.
After the official speech, the head of state awarded prizes, including the honorary prize to Miss Mariam Ahmed Goumane, wife in diplomacy, economic prize to Miss Bahja Awad Zaki, and the social prize to Miss Fatum Ali Nouri, representative of a Dekhil association. After the presentation of the award to the three laureates, the President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, and the First Lady, President of UNFT, also received a gift to the young activists to prove to them they always defend the women's cause. These days is famous all over the world, and Djibouti made among these countries since the accession to power. The President of the Republic has been fighting for women's rights and their place in society, for who says women says kind generosity, intentioned, militant mothers and wives. The Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, and the Minister of Energy, Yunis Ali Gedi, yesterday officially launched the medical caravan in Arta, a medical caravan that is scheduled to travel through the 5 regions of the interior to provide several specialized services free of charge. The launching ceremony took place in the presence of the President of the region, Ilmi Bouh, the Deputy Prefect, Muhammad Fouzi, and many wise men and elders of the Arta city. Carried out on a periodic basis, this strategy of the medical caravan in the region is a formidable means of bringing care and specialized services closer to the population. In his speech, the Minister of Energy, Yunis Ali Gedi, underlined the primacy given by the government to the well-being and health of the populations of Arta through the various regional health programs. The Minister of Energy also asked the population of Arta to take full advantage of this great opportunity of care and that has been graciously made available to them by the Department of Health. For his part, the Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, enumerated the many advances and progress made in the regions of Arta in terms of health, including the development of adequate health infrastructure to achieve the ambitions of the health policy of the head of state, Ismail Omar Guelleh. The Minister of Health, Mohamed Warsama Diriye, also urged the population of Arta to participate in this medical caravan, to which he has just given the starting signal for the beginning of consultation activities. Within the framework of the school project, the Dekhil High School The Dikhil Middle School, in collaboration with the parents of the students, organized the 4th edition ceremony of awarding prize for the best students of the school within the Regional Council of Dikhil. These various prizes were awarded for more than 18 students who stood out from their peers by obtaining an average greater than of equals of 16 in the first quarters of the current years 2020-2021. The various prizes were accompanied by a roll of honor for students who had an average of 18 and 17, so certificate of satisfactions were distributed for students who obtained an average of 16. The objective of the ceremony was to motivate the students and contribute to the quality of teaching and learning. Different activities were presented during the festivity, namely the sketch, the poems, and sensitizations on the benefits of the reading. This event saw the participation of many personalities, including the president of the Regional Council, Abdurrahman Yunis Are. For the international scene, a historical trail opens Mondays in Minneapolis, in the northern United States, of the white police officers accused of killing African-American George Floyd on May 27, triggering an anti-racist outburst around the world. The long-awaited trial is scheduled to begin with jury selection, but final debates over the exact charges against Derek Chauvin could delay the proceedings. For now, the 44-year-old man, 19 of whom work for Minneapolis Police Department, is charged with murder and manslaughter. He has been released on bail and will appear in court on May 25, and he and 3 colleagues had intervened to arrest George Floyd on suspicion of using a counterfeit $20 bill to buy a packet of cigarettes in the middle of the street in the front of the frightened Pacers by Derek Chauvin, knelt for almost 9 minutes on the neck of the black 40-year-old, handcuffed and pinned to the group despite the fact that they had blown "I can breathe" 20 times. Its verdict will have to be unanimous among the 12 members. The 3 other police officers involved in the drama, Alexander Quirk, Thomas Lanes, and Tu Xiao, will be judged together in August. This is it for the news. Thanks for watching us. Have a good evening.